Hey there, Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to Supersize Your Business. Today we're talking about the power of identifying spiritual core values to supersize and grow your business. This whole month we're going to be discussing things that most businesses actually never think about, much less talk about. And if you do it, just like with considering emotional health and well-being of your organization, you will create an organization with a culture that you're proud of, one that makes the world a better place, and one that thrives. And when your culture thrives, when your business thrives, it serves your customers better. When we serve our customers better, it gives us a competitive advantage. There's always a link to everything we talk about to growing and building and supersizing our business. So spiritual core values are core values that have to do with something bigger than just our business, something outside of us, something bigger than us. For example, making the world a better place. One of my core values is that every one of us, every business, everything we do should positively contribute to the world and to make the world a better place. Now, how we do that is different for each and every one of us. Me, being a grandma and a good grandma to my granddaughters, I consider making the world a better place. Why? Because we're creating awesome little human beings that will, in turn, make the world a better place. That's on a personal level, of course. Business-wise, I think that we can set the example for the rest of the world and other businesses by doing things in a way that's in alignment with our spiritual core values. Now, first and foremost, you have to identify what they are for your group, for your organization, for your business. Most people, like I said, will never do this. It's not that hard. You sit down, you think about it, you pay attention to how you want to show up in the world, how you want to engage with your customers, the energy and the spirit that you want your business and your organization to actually exude into the environment and into the world, and to be an example, shining example of possibility for others and for the world. Some of my personal core values around spirituality, especially with respect to our business, are, of course, to make the world a better place. I talk about it a lot. I like to think I do it in most everything I do, with the exception of posting on social media. But it's just one thing that we can do. And by being ethical, by being moral and having morals and values built into our organization, we not only make better decisions, quicker, faster, easier decisions inside our business, but we serve the people that we're here to serve better. Service is a very spiritual thing. Being in business is a very spiritual thing. Most people, I don't think that, but it absolutely is, because we're providing value, solving problems for other people, and that makes the world a better place. That in and of itself makes the world a better place. And if we're doing it at a fair and value-based pricing situation, we're not gouging people and just making a lot of money. And then again, money people consider spiritual. So it's such an individual way of looking at the world and looking at things, but it really does give us a competitive advantage. So today, think about, what are your organization's top 3 spiritual core values? What are the 3 things that you will not go against? What are the things that you stand for? You draw that line in the sand and you will not go below it. You will not follow that commitment to yourself and your organization. Mine is, I have other beliefs too, or not just beliefs, they're core values to me. I, to my core, believe and know that we are all, individually and collectively as businesses, spiritual beings, and we are infinite spiritual beings. A lot of people don't believe that, and I understand that. We get to believe whatever we want to believe. It's the cool thing about being a human being. We get to choose and create our own lives and our own reality and our own businesses and our own version of how we want to look at the world. We also can change that at any time. We have the power to do that, whether we believe it or not. We do. I believe that we are all part of this massive universal energy, and that what we put out into the world is what comes back to us. I think that we need to treat other people the way we want to be treated. And a lot of times we don't see that in business. And it's such an easy decision-making thing. If you're in customer service and you're treating somebody the way you would not want to be treated, like if you're just talking to them in a way that you would never want to be talked to, then that's a cutoff and a wake-up point to say, oh my gosh, I am not treating somebody the way I want to be treated. And that's not how I want to show up in the world. It makes it really easy to determine and actually grade ourselves on how we're showing up in the world. All right, so what are we doing today? We're going to identify at least 3 spiritual related core values that are important to us, I'd say to us, because we need to know what they are for us, but also to our organization. It usually has something to do with how we treat other people, especially our customers. It usually has something to do with how we show up in the world, how we make decisions, etc. So if you need any help with this, some mornings I don't think I'm explaining things really, really well. But we've talked about core values in each of the other areas and aspects of our life framework so far. So I think we understand how to go about identifying our core values. And if you don't know, go Google it. Spiritual core values, or businesses' spiritual core values, or any way you want to phrase it. And believe me, with AI and Google and all the search engines, you will get inundated with information. And it's pretty easy to just go through someone else's list and say, yeah, that applies to us. No, that totally doesn't apply to us. Yeah, that applies to us. No, it doesn't apply to us. And then work from there. I find that it's often easy to work from another source when I'm creating something new. Now, I've done my core value exercise literally hundreds of times for myself and with other people. And so it's not that hard for me to just think of, okay, what's important to me and what's the value around that in terms of my core value, and what are some values that I like to adhere to, but I will have leeway on because they're not as central and important to me as others. For example, my family. I would die for my family, for my kids and my grandkids, hands down. But not everybody else on the planet, just them, right? So that is one that is, I guess it is spiritual, is sacrificing ourselves for others that we love and care about. All right. Any questions, hit me up and ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.